106.5 FM and online. It's the After 5 Guest with Wyn Thomas.
And time now for my After 5 Guest. I'm delighted to be joined by the one and only Marty Wilde. Marty, how are you? Okay?
I'm very well, thank you, Wyn. Very well.
Good stuff indeed. Good to have you on the programme again, returning to the After 5 Guest again after many, many years. Thanks for being my guest today. Let's start with the new EP, which is featuring the 2i streaming. A song about a young Marty, age 5, missing his father, and vice versa.
Yeah, that was part of the song. It was. Initially the song was going to be about. I thought of people that went away for a long period of time. Whatever. Oil rig or submarine or wherever, or got a job that takes pay. And I just thought of the loneliness that children feel, the young people feel. And then, of course, I related it to my own experiences during the war. And so that's how the song sort of came about, really.
So your dad was called up during the war, was he, Marty?
Yeah, well, he was. But what happened was he was a sergeant. He was Sandhurst trained sergeant, which was pretty high level. But he had a heart defect, and so that he couldn't travel. They wouldn't let him go abroad. But what they wanted him to do was to train men in this country. So he trained, but he went all over the place. We used to follow on, and sometimes that would work. But most of the times, children had a disjointed relationship, I think, with their fathers during the war. It was one of those things that happen, sad things. But and I never caught up that time. There was a lot of time you can't replace with a child.
Yeah.
But that's what the song's about, really.
So you were about 5 when you finished, and how old was you when you came back? Was you about 8 or something like that, or 8 or 9?
Yeah, he wouldn't be away for. Sometimes he'd be away like 6-7 months, and
right.
He'd be back again for a long while, and then again. You never knew where. The only good thing about it was I managed to. Mum would follow on with me, and we'd go to wherever he was stationed. One of the nicest, of course, was North Wales. We were based in North Wales, in Capel Curig, which is absolutely beautiful. So some of the things were okay, but that still didn't stop us being separated, because a lot of the time he had to stay with the men, and I didn't. We never saw him.
Yeah. It's 65 years ago that Teenager in Love was topping the charts. It's just incredible. Your career is still going. Lots of hits in the early 60s, wasn't there? Quite a successful time for you, those early 60s.
Yeah, it was all right. It was a great time. It was a great time to have been alive as well. It was a very positive time for the country, and we were, it was. Rock and roll there was nothing quite that light, but the impact of rock and roll, I think, on young teenagers was immense, particularly obviously on me and everyone else. But and the songs have lasted. Some of those songs are still played. So it was a great time, great time for young people.
Did things change then when the Beatles and the groups came along for single artists like yourself? Do you think it changed at all?
Yes, it did. It made it very difficult for me for a while. But one of the great things was, I enjoyed the Beatles as much as anybody, but I just love music and I love good songwriters. But it made it difficult. But that's what you get in life, Life is not easy all the time, and you've got to, you just get on with it and do your best. And I think that's probably why I've lasted so long. You just keep on going, and don't. You're going to get little things that interrupt your life, but just get on with it.
Yeah. Now you're touring again. 20 dates. That's incredible, isn't it? You must enjoy being on the road, yeah?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love being on the road. One of the things, I love driving, so that's one a plus. I love the theatres. I love the theatre world, and I love meeting people, and I love my audiences, because it's, after all this time, it's such a pleasure. And they spoil you. They sort of just make you feel good, and they sing to all the songs, and they're happy, and that's really what I'm there for. Is to, and also to show people still, because there's hardly any rock and rollers singing in the world today.
No.
So I'm one of the only ones left, to be truthful with you.
Yeah.
I'm only one of the originals, so there's not many of us left.
So this is the Greatest Hits tour. You must keep yourself fit to be able to do this at your age, yes?
Well, you just have to watch what you're... Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I don't... I'm too old to sort of like be bounding around a racetrack or anything, but you got to watch what you got. You got. I don't drink and I don't smoke, so they're the two things really.
That's the secret. Yeah.
I think so. Well, only when you get to a certain age, you can smoke and drink as much as you like, but when you get to a certain age, you've got to stop. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky that way. I don't smoke, I don't drink. So.
And not too many pints of the ale at night. That's another thing, isn't it? That's another keep away from that stuff. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, I used to love beer. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could drink tomorrow if my mind would let me. But I'm such a single-minded devil. And I know I stopped around about 8 years ago, and I thought, no, that's enough. That's it. And I had a great time, loved all that. It was all nice, but now get on with your life. And but now and again, I see someone. The time it gets you is when you're in the summertime, and you see like just that little drip of water coming down, a drip of beer rather coming down the edge of a glass.
Oh yes, yeah.
And you just see it. That's the only time where. That's the only time I think, oh.
Yes.
And then the other side of my mind says, no, you're not doing that. So
that cold pint with the condensation running down the outside of the glass. Yes, I know exactly how you feel. Yes, it is. Yeah. Absolutely. So 65 years later, you're still releasing music. That's incredible. You've been writing and producing and all things like that over the 65 years. It's just an incredible career you've got there going there, Marty. And it's still great to see you still in action. Fantastic,
I love music so much, and I really enjoy writing songs because they're like, for me, they're like little plays. It's like some of the Paul Simon songs. A lot of the Paul Simon songs were little films, little plays, and that's how I've always tried to, with a lot of my material, try to paint a picture, paint a scene for somebody. So they can, you can when you see it, you can become part of it. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, human beings do link very much to a lyric, and some of the lyrics mean a lot. I mean, some people remember more some simple lyric out of a pop song than they ever will out of Shakespeare. It just isn't a pop song, isn't it?
Absolutely right.
But when they say pop songs, I mean, if you take it, obviously, then say popular, I suppose that's the word, but they're not, some of them have got a lot to say. Some writers have an awful lot to say.
But I say producing's been a great part of your career. You work with some fantastic artists as well. I mean, your daughter Kim and your son Ricky as well. You've done actually fantastic for them as well. They've had great careers as well alongside your career, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and it was a great time in my life. And so it was a time I really did enjoy because I enjoyed writing with my son, and he's a great writer, and I enjoyed working, writing for Kim. I loved the electronics. I still love electronics in music. And so it was a lovely time for me. It was a very creative time because we had to keep trying to come up with hits all the time, which can be a little bit of pressure, but it was a great time to have been alive.
Well, they still playing Kids in America. They're still playing that over and over again. So did you produce that? Is that one of your efforts? Is it?
It was. I wrote the lyrics for it, so and it was part of the production, but mostly the lyrics were mine. So
yeah.
My title so I'm glad. I mean, it's because thank God I didn't write it like last week because there's no money in songwriting anymore.
No, that's right. Yeah.
In those days, there was big money.
Well, I was talking to a colleague of mine a couple of weeks ago, and I said that Marty Wilde is my After Five guest, and he said, yes, he said, he was in Swansea Panto, he said, in 1966-67, in Robin Hood. Do you remember that?
Oh, in Swansea.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Swansea. I remember that for one good reason. I got a hit out of that. On the way into Swansea, I saw the sign for Abergavenny, and I'd never been there.
Oh, yes.
What a fantastic name.
Of course.
There it was, Abergavenny. So
yeah.
I thought, right. And it's a rhythmic, it's a beautiful, lovely area, and it's lovely people, and, you know, it was, again, I've been back there many times, and it's such a lovely place.
Yeah.
And it's a great title as well. You know, it's a very rhythmic, a lot of the Welsh names are rhythmic, but that one is a ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, you know, it lends itself to brass.
Yeah,
Abergavenny, you know.
And that's first line, isn't it? I'm taking a trip up to Abergavenny. That was, you know, people gripped onto it. I think, ooh, I must take a trip like Marty. Yes, great stuff. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great brass band song. I mean, I'd love to hear a Welsh brass band just play the melody, because it's a strong melody. It doesn't need a lyric. It paints nice pictures. So
yeah.
Maybe one day we'll hear that from a Welsh brass band.
I shall pass that on, Marty.
Great ones there.
Yeah, if I come across a brass band, I shall pass that on to the musical director. Absolutely, yeah. Well, thanks so much for spending the time today. It's been absolutely brilliant to talk to you again, and good luck with the single. And as per usual, we always finish with playing that single, and here it comes right now. It's going to just load itself into my system here. Well, it does that. Just say good luck with the tour. I know it's going to be a bit hectic for you, but I'm sure you're going to accomplish it. And thanks so much, Say, for being my guest today. Absolutely fantastic.
My pleasure, Wyn. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, and here goes the song.
I will always love you in a million ways, and all the things I'm feeling now will never change. Oh no, but I'll be leaving, darling. Every time you know I have to go, I know what you're feeling, and you're feeling low. You'll stand with two eyes streaming. Stop those tears, 'cause come tomorrow, though I'm far away, my letters will be coming home to you. And before you know it, kids, everything will change. You'll be in my arms again, and I will kiss your face a million times, that cheeky face that I've been missing too. I will always love you in a million ways. The things that I believe in I must do today. Don't cry, with two eyes streaming. So come on and remember as you hold my hand, for everybody there's a time we make a stand. We do what we believe in. One day soon you'll see me walking down that road. I won't leave again. While I'm far away, think of me each day. Soon you'll see me walking down that road, and there'll be peace again. While I'm far away, think of me do.